disaster week, as I like to call it. Not a good week for me at all. I will say that I think I was desperately unlucky on some things, and it was a weird week, I think, where the average is actually a lot higher than anecdotally speaking to some of my friends how they did, because we had this kind of week where I think a lot of players people expected to do well didn't do quite so well, and then maybe some others who was a bit slow on did do pretty well. I will also say that this might be like not that long an episode because I didn't really manage to watch much football this weekend. I had Friday, Saturday off, but I was in deep into the Red Dead Redemption 2 rabbit hole and still am. So, apologies for that. But I do certainly have some thoughts on a lot of the things going on this weekend, and there was also some tragic news. Well, two parts of tragic news really. One, although he does seem to be getting better, as Glenn Hoddle had a heart attack at the BT Studios. Hoddle was one of England's best ever players, without a doubt. He was just a classy player. People have their different opinions on him as a manager and as England manager. I personally think he did alright. There was a whole controversy surrounding him leaving, but I think he did pretty well as an England manager overall. And I've always liked his insight into the game. And a lot of people don't know he runs like a second chance clinic, if you like, for footballers who get dropped by clubs, and a lot of footballers have found clubs because they've gone to this kind of academy after being dropped by their clubs, and so he does put a lot into the game. And last I heard, he was doing he was responding to treatment in hospital, and his life was saved by a sound engineer at the BT Studios. So hopefully he is all right. But unfortunately, there was also some tragic circumstances at the Leicester West Ham game. The owner, who has done so much for that club, I often say that I feel Crystal Palace has a brilliant owner, but I think the Leicester owner has actually done a lot, not just for the club, but for the city in general. And tragically, the helicopter which he gets kind of whenever he goes to a game from the stadium crash landed just outside the stadium, and it seems that everybody on board perished. Who was, I believe, the pilot, his fiancée, the owner himself, the chairman, and some aides, I believe, as well. And that's just absolutely tragic news. It really is. Very, very sad to hear that, and obviously, thoughts go out to the families involved, and any Leicester fans out there as well, because, as I said, he was a brilliant owner. In this time when people bemoan foreign ownership of clubs, I think he came in and showed that that's how you do it. He integrated himself into the community. He realised a football club was more important than just a football team, and he did a lot for the community at the same time. So yeah, tragic news, unfortunately, which really did put a dampener on, I think, the whole weekend as a whole. But we'll go through the games, and it's incredibly sad when anything like that does happen. But from what I hear as well, the pilot managed to, even though the helicopter was out of control, managed to put it down in an area where there weren't more fatalities, which, considering it was only an hour after the end of the game and there were people milling about, could have been way worse. So yeah, acts of bravery this weekend, as well as tragic circumstances, I think. So there we go. But as I said, I didn't manage to get to watch too much football, mostly just a few highlights of games and things like that. So we're in there. If we look at the players who did well and who didn't do so well, I knew it was going to be a bad week for me because I have Man City and Tottenham players in, and I knew that would either go one way or the other. And as it was, it didn't really do too much, did it? Mendy, the only one who probably stands out there. I think he got a clean sheet. Yeah, that's it. Van Dijk captain was my brave move of the week. My theory was Liverpool at home, who haven't been conceding that many goals. We're playing Cardiff, who are one of the, I don't want to say worst sides in the league, but apart from last week when they played Fulham, which to be fair, yes, they did score 4 goals, but otherwise they've struggled with goals. I figured Liverpool would not concede, and I didn't fancy any of my other players to do well. Usually you would put an attacking player as a captain, right? That's usually what you do. But I wasn't banking on Aguero to score against Tottenham, or Shaqiri or Bernardo Silva. So I went for Van Dijk, thinking if you get 6 points for a clean sheet, that's an extra 6 points in the bank. It backfired. Liverpool conceded. So yeah, you win some, you lose some. Shaqiri I brought in and he did well, so I was pleased with that. He only played 29 minutes. I brought him in and then he played midweek, and I was like, shit, that means he's not going to play at the weekend, doesn't it? So yeah, not happy about that. As I said, it was a weird week, like players were in and out. Hazard was suddenly out of contention, not that it really mattered, obviously. Gomez, who had been, kind of a pretty much a mainstay, suddenly he didn't play at all. Not injured, just rested. So yeah, not the best of weekends for me, as it were. But hey, you always get these odd weeks. I will say that puts me down to 5th in the Plays Cup, so things are pretty tight up here, especially in the top 4, or this 4, 2 to 5, shall we say? Well, actually 2 to, oh bloody hell, yeah, that is tight. Look at that. There's only like, I don't know, 30, 40 points in this middle here, so all to play for. Vegard, sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, kind of stomping away with it. 84 in the week, come on. This guy's hacking. He must be hacking. No, but fair play. That's good. Do you know what? I was going to pick on Wilson, wasn't I? But I'm an idiot. Anyway, yeah, some weeks do well, some weeks you don't do well, and I must admit, like as I said, my concentration. I'm glad at least I did make some changes, but my concentration was not there this week because of all the games and stuff like that have come out. But yeah, anyway, let's look at the games, I guess. Great win for Brighton. Glenn Murray doing it again. Listen, I'm an idiot. I should put Glenn Murray in my squad. He's got 6 goals this season so far, and he's quality. Guy's 35 years old, for God's sake. He's just a quality goal scorer. He really is. I like him a lot. As I said, I truly believe he should have gone into the England squad for the World Cup. I think people probably think I'm mad. He's not good enough. But my point is that he offers something different. Like, who would you rather have come on with 10 minutes left of a game? Danny Welbeck or Glenn Murray? I'd rather have Glenn Murray. Physical, puts himself about, can sneak a goal. Welbeck for me is just too indecisive. So anyway, I've banged on about that much, but yeah, great, great win for Brighton. To be fair, that's a tough fixture. Wolves, have they dropped off a little bit recently? Yeah, 2 losses. Got Spurs next. It's a hard game. I think they'll be generally quite pleased with the way they are. Goals do seem to be a problem. They've only scored 9, and I keep yawning today. I don't know why. It's only like 10:30 in the morning. It doesn't bode well, does it? But yeah, only 9. When you look at the teams around them, scored a lot more. Admittedly, they've only conceded 9, so they're pretty tight at the back, and I think the way they play is good. But really good win for Brighton, and they're pushing up the table. I think Brighton are going to be alright this season. I really do. I think they'll probably beat Everton next week even. That'll be interesting. Fulham, Bournemouth. I mean, you have to firstly give massive props to Bournemouth. Quality side. Really pushing on this season. 6 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 10 games. It's dreamland for them. I don't think they've got the squad to sustain a push, and if they do get a couple of injuries, they might really struggle. And about a push for like 6th or something. You know, but if they're injury free, if they get a bit of luck here and there, they could be the Bournemouth. They would definitely be the Bournemouth of this season. But they could be the Burnley of this season. So, yeah, keep an eye on Bournemouth without a doubt. They're doing pretty well. Surely, like, I've been banging on about it for a long time. Surely, at some point, Eddie Howe is going to get snapped up by a top team. Like, you know, there's been rumours, and I guess we'll talk about it a bit more, but with Spurs, Pochettino, possibly with some of his comments before the game against Man City, the Real Madrid job just came up. There's people saying maybe now's the time to go for him. Eddie Howe, perfect replacement for me at Spurs. Perfect. I personally don't think Pochettino will go because I think that he wants to be there for the new stadium. I think he'll be there for the rest of this season, at least next season. I think what's also helped is they've signed up a lot of their best players to long-term contracts, so I don't think they're going to be selling anyone. But obviously, I think he's pissed about funds, basically. But anyway, so yeah, really, really well under Bournemouth. This guy, Brooks, I think he's going to be a really good player. He just looks really, really good. You know, 3 goals in his last 4 games. He's getting on there. Callum Wilson, again, a guy who, if you remember when Bournemouth came up, I know it's a few seasons back, but he had that horrific injury. Everyone's touting him as being like a potential England striker. I think it took him a little bit of time to get back, but I think this could be a really good season for him. You know, he scored 5 goals in 10 games. You know, he could hit 20 goals in a season. That would be pretty good. That would be phenomenal, actually, to be fair. But you know, from a still relatively, how old is he? I keep thinking he's about 26, 27. Callum Wilson. I reckon I could have just done this on the screen. How old is Callum Wilson? He's 26, yeah. So it's still just about coming into his prime. So, you know, I think he would be a decent signing for a few bigger clubs. But maybe if Bournemouth can push up and, you know, get possibly scrape European place this season, then they are a bigger club. I don't know. As for Fulham, well, it just kind of keeps getting worse. They've had this just terrible run, haven't they, where they have got well and truly battered in like every game. Honestly, it's not looking good. Huddersfield next, which is a must-win for both sides. You know, you people always talk about, oh, this is a 6-pointer, blah 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 blah. No, it's a game that, if both sides have ambitions to stay in the Premier League, they have to go out there and try and win it. I'm sure they both will go out there and try and win it. They're both attacking sides. It could be a really cracking game, to be fair. But you know, that's, you know, Fulham are now in the relegation zone. They started off decently, but they've just fallen off a cliff recently. And defensively, they are shocking. My prediction is that Jokanovic is going to be the first manager to go. And that might shock some people, but I feel that Fulham have spent so much money that they just can't afford to go and get relegated. They really went out and spent big on some big players, and you know, they can't afford to get relegated. Huddersfield, I don't want to say, well, they can afford to get relegated. Newcastle, I mean, they can afford to get relegated because they don't spend any money anyway. Cardiff can, you know. Southampton, I don't think want to, but I guess they probably could. But I don't think Fulham can. So I think if this run continues, if they don't win probably at least one of their next 2 or 3 games, which they've got Huddersfield, Liverpool, and Southampton. So I'm going to say if they haven't picked up a win by after the Southampton game. I think he'll be out. It could be if they get battered next week against Huddersfield. That could be it as well. But I kind of have a sneaky feeling that they might win that one, or at least draw. So, but I think if they only pick up say 1 point after those 2 games, I think you could see Jokanovic go. Which, listen, I'm not saying that's what should happen. I'm not saying I'm a fan of that. I'm not. But that's just the trend that goes there, which is, managers get promoted. If the manager doesn't do well, the season after, they get a new manager in. And without wanting to be disrespectful to Fulham or Jokanovic, in the Championship, there's a certain level of manager you can get. In the Premier League, there's a whole different level of manager you can get. And when you have people like Sam Allardyce sitting around, without a job, it, I think, puts even more pressure on who's going to be the first person, who's going to be the first club to sack their manager and appoint Allardyce. Because let's face it, it's going to happen. Like, I don't know what odds you would get on that, but they wouldn't be very high, would they? So yeah, Liverpool, Cardiff. Liverpool, as expected, battered Cardiff here. Could have been more. Great play from Mane, great play from Salah. Just all round, team doing really well. Liverpool looking strong, winning those games that they need to win. Had those couple of draws which set them back a bit. I still am flabbergasted that we're 10 games into the season and we've got 3 unbeaten teams. I know we talk all the time about the Invincibles, the Arsenal team who won the league. Is it possible we have 3 teams go into the end of the season unbeaten? Is that possible? I mean, it's possible. It'd be pretty crazy though, wouldn't it? So we'll see. But all of them winning in the top 3 there, so interesting. And to be fair, probably apart from Man City winning with a flourish, I'd say. So yeah, not much to say there. I don't think Cardiff would really have expected much out of that game. Leicester next week. I mean, it's going to be a very emotional game, to be fair. They got Brighton the week after. Everton, their games they could get something out of. So, that game for me, I think would have been like, hey, stay tight, stay defensive. We can, get something on the break, but, at the end of the day, I think if he walks away from that, he's probably just glad that's over with and he can move on against, other teams in the league, really. Southampton, Newcastle, I don't really have much to say about this. I don't know if it was a crap game or not. I didn't see any highlights or anything, but Southampton's and Newcastle's games this season have been pretty dour, drab affairs, haven't they, really? Southampton's a team no one's talking about, and I will say this, I lived in Southampton for just over a year. I worked and lived there, and I really actually like the city itself. It's really good. I think the football club is great. I think Mark Hughes is a terrible manager. I don't think they should ever have appointed him. And they play drab, dour football. They feel like just a drab football club. And I hope they don't go down, but I don't think they would be a loss to the Premier League if they did right now, because they're not playing anything interesting. They're not doing anything interesting. They're just a drab football club. 6 goals they've scored in 10 games. I mean, you got Man City next. I think we know what the result's going to be there, right? And as I said, like Mark Hughes, I don't like Mark Hughes. I don't think his teams play good football, and I think he just moans all the time about everything. And I know football managers do moan, but he really does. Like, he'd be first in the Premier League for moaning. And I mean, even more than Mourinho. At least Mourinho is entertaining when he moans. Like, Mark Hughes is just grey. It's just his whole palette colour is grey. I'm probably personally attacking Mark Hughes here, and he's probably a really nice guy, but how he comes across in interviews and the tactics he plays, I don't like personally. So yeah, I could see him season if Southampton don't improve, which I don't think they will. So we'll see. Anyway, as for Newcastle, well, I mean, what are you going to do really if you're Newcastle? I mean, they sell players, they don't reinvest properly in the team. Rafa Benitez is working with a championship squad with a couple of Premier League players, trying to make miracles happen again. They had a horrible start to the season. You know, fixture list was incredibly unkind, but they have some games coming up that they need to win. You know, Watford's not easy, Bournemouth's not easy, but they're both home games. Burnley's a big game for them. So yeah, they you know they've got to push on and do something. Watford smashing Huddersfield. It does feel like Huddersfield are just destined to get relegated this season. 4 goals in 10 games, 21 conceded. You know, joint worst goal difference in the Premier League, along with Fulham. Fulham conceding nearly 3 a game, by the way. Shocking. Yeah, just I like Huddersfield. I like their spirit. I like their manager. I like the way they try to play. They just don't have good enough players. Like, I'm sorry, that's if I play FIFA against somebody and I'm just not good enough, like if I'm in a higher league, shall we say, an Ultimate Team than I should be, I'm not good enough to do that. I can try my hardest, I can work, I can scrap, I can try and tactically outplay them, but I'm gonna not do well. And in the Premier League, as I said, Huddersfield, they just fail to invest and improve what they have. They don't have a goal scorer, and in the Premier League, that is, you know, absolutely key to you. You know, you have to have that goal scorer. You know, Crystal Palace are struggling this season because they don't have it. I think we've got a decent squad. We just don't have a goal scorer. You know, one of the reasons why Arsenal's up there with such a terrible defence is because they got goal scorers. You know, Bournemouth as well. They've had, you know, Callum Wilson, as I said, is looking good for them, coming up big in games. How many has Pereira's got 5 this season. He's doing well. Delafeu actually scored a goal. He's only just started playing again. And Isaac's success. That's his first goal of the season. He's barely played though, as well. So interesting. But well done to Watford. They're pushing on, aren't they? They had a little bit of a shaky spell. I think everybody probably thought they were going to drop back down. But 2 wins in a row, 2 clean sheets. Would want to be Newcastle next week. Yeah, but it's a tough game. Leicester won, West Ham won. West Ham took the lead. Leicester equalised, like I think it was like the last minute or second to last minute, something like that. But obviously, kind of everything just overshadowed this game. I think West Ham are still in trouble. Definitely, as I said last week, I think from West Ham down is the relegation battle this season. West Ham have certainly got enough quality to pull themselves out of it. I just don't know if they will. Like, I think Crystal Palace again have enough quality to pull themselves out of it. I just don't know if they will. I think the rest of the teams are not wanting to offend anyone. I don't think any one of this 6 could get relegated. That's how badly they've played this season. Like, Crystal Palace have played pretty badly this season. I know we've got the same record as Burnley and West Ham. Like, I'm not saying that, but like Burnley have got thumped in some games. Like, they had 2 really good wins against Bournemouth and Cardiff, but they are getting thumped in other games. Like, Palace haven't been thumped. Like, we've lost a couple of games, 1-0, 2-1, stuff like that. So yeah, we've only conceded 13, not 21. We only scored 7, so I'm trying to justify myself here, but I don't know, we'll see. Plus we've got Wilfried Zaha. It makes a difference, as we'll speak about. Chelsea absolutely battered Burnley. It was the Ross Barkley show. 1 goal, 2 assists. Glad to see Loftus-Cheek getting some minutes as well, scoring a goal. Scored a hat-trick in the Europa League? Yeah, I think it was Europa League as well. I like Loftus-Cheek, obviously. I think he did really well for Crystal Palace last season. I think he's a young English player who could very good player. I don't quite think he will reach the heights of like a Gerrard or Lampard. Okay, I don't think he could do that, but I think he could reach the heights of someone like, say, Henderson or who else would I compare him to? In the current England team, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I think he's going to go on to be a global superstar. But I think he could be a very, very good, like, Premier League midfielder. But I don't think he's getting the chances at Chelsea that he deserves. Maybe he will now. There just seems to be a lot of players who play in that midfield and not enough spots to play them. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Barkley's in sparkling form. You know, Barkley's a guy though who could go on and be a very, very good player. We saw flashes of it at Everton. You know, obviously his career at Chelsea was stop-start, mostly because I just think Antonio Conte just plain didn't like the guy, didn't want to sign him, didn't like him, and that was at the point where Conte was, you know, kind of engineering an exit, shall we say. But it does seem that Sarri has got a bit more faith in him and likes him, and is reaping those rewards, I guess. So, yeah, I will say this, like, a lot of people have kind of said, oh, why on earth did Chelsea sign Kovacic on loan from Real Madrid? Like, if they've got, like, if Loftus-Cheek can't get a game, like, isn't it better to play a player with talent who, you know, is your own player, rather than, shall we say, increase the value of someone else's player on loan? And I think genuinely it was because they wanted backup, and, like, he's a good player, Kovacic. He's not, like, a bad player in any way. He's probably better than Barkley and Loftus-Cheek, but only by a smidge, I'd say. But yeah, I think it was interesting, that signing. If they'd have signed him outright, you could kind of understand it. But to sign him on loan and then, you know, Loftus-Cheek only gets like, you know, 3 games, you know, 60 minutes, the longest in one game. You're kind of going, why would you do that? That's a weird thing. And I mean, let's face it, Chelsea have got a long history of not bringing through young players like that, despite having some of the most talented players in the world on their books, young players in the world, not bringing them through. So I really hope Loftus-Cheek can push through. I mean, in some ways, I hope he doesn't, because I'd love us to snap him up on loan in January. But you know, the only way players, you know, like Loftus-Cheek, I'll be honest, he's not going to improve that much as a player if he plays for Crystal Palace. He's going to get game time, yes, but if he plays for Chelsea, he'll improve more, because he's playing with better players. That's a fact. And so I hope he does push through from an England point of view and from his career point of view, that he can push on. But I don't think he's going to get that much game time, to be fair. I think that who are Chelsea playing next? They're playing Crystal Palace. Oh God. Oh dear. Yeah, he could get a game in that one, I suppose. But I think perhaps in the bigger games he might not. Whereas I think Barkley's just had a phenomenal month. Probably player of the month, I would say, for October. Let's have a look actually at what so he's got 3 goals, 3 assists in his last 3 games. Pretty phenomenal. He played 21 minutes in that one, so he's looking good. I think he did pretty well in Europe as well, and he did pretty well for England as well. So yeah, he's had a good October. Hopefully that's a turning point for him, because he's got a lot of talent. Everyone knows that. It's just he hasn't managed to kind of push on. So Arsenal, Crystal Palace. As I said last week, I expected Crystal Palace to get absolutely battered in this game. We have not been playing well. Arsenal have been phenomenal, 10 wins in a row. But as we've all said, everyone knows Arsenal's defence is Crystal Palace did get at them, and Arsenal really did not like Wilfried Zaha running at them, did they? Roy put him back on the left, which is good. Put Ayew up front, who didn't really do anything. But he put him on the left, which is, I think, against teams like Arsenal, that's where he's going to do the damage when he gets to run. If you're playing up front as a striker, sometimes you can get in behind stuff like that, but you don't often get to actually run at a player. Now, when he plays on that left wing, he does get to cut inside and run, and that is players like hate him. They had to sub Bellerin off because he was just having such a torrid time, and bring on Lichtsteiner. I believe that was the case anyway. That's what I heard. He gave him a torrid time. Now, we scored 2 penalties. They scored a fantastic free kick and then a Aubameyang goal. It was a really good free kick. I'll give Xhaka that. I'm not a big fan of Xhaka, but he can really hit a ball. He really can. That was a phenomenal free kick. Kind of felt like Hennessy should have done better on that one, but anyway. I'm not going to be too harsh on the guy. It was phenomenally hit. There's been a lot of stuff about Wilfried Zaha diving. I don't understand football fans. They are the thickest people on earth. They really are. Like, you have to be an absolute moron to be going down the line of, Wilfried Zaha dives all the time. Wilfried Zaha dives. Like, Granit Xhaka came out after the game and said, yeah, it was a foul, it was a penalty. I did make contact with him. What do people want? I still see Arsenal fans going out going, Zaha, he dives. Maybe they're trolling. But you gotta be a real fucking idiot to actually believe that. Wilfried Zaha is a very quick and tricky player. And quick and tricky players, more often than not, get penalties because they get taken down in the box. And there are players who dive. We've seen it. It happens. Not just like we saw Harry Maguire do in the World Cup. I didn't see anybody turn around and going, "Oh, Harry Maguire dives. He dives." I feel like it is. I think what backs up to what I'm about to say. Like, I feel it's racist, and I think it is also kind of that kind of racism because Zaha didn't play for England. I think if Zaha played for England, none of this would be happening. But after the match, he got death threats. He got racially abused by Arsenal fans. It's a fucking disgrace. It really is. I dislike Arsenal before this. I like him even less now, to be honest with you. I know not all Arsenal fans obviously think that or like that, but there's some real scum there. And people just the thing which bugs me the most is like you can turn around and go and you can look at something and go, oh, I think that's a dive or whatever. But if the flipping player who made the foul comes out afterwards and says, no, it was a penalty, I think you should be a big enough man and not a coward to turn around and say, you know what, I did think it was a dive, but fair play to Xhaka coming out afterwards and saying, he did that. And I will say, on a personal note, well done to Granit Xhaka there for actually admitting and saying, yeah, it was a penalty, not like, oh, I don't know, or whatever, or stoking it up. But I think it's a real fucking disgrace that anybody is calling that into question. And, if anybody Wilfried Zaha does not dive, I'm going to say that. If you want to send me a video link or something like that of a YouTube video where he dives to get a penalty, then I'll happily watch that and change my mind. But whenever you ask anybody to do that, no one ever manages to do it. It's all anecdotal, like, oh yeah, he wins penalties and he does things like that. Well, guess what? Like, that's what players do. Like with him, his game is to be tricky in the box, is to try and make space, is to bait the defender into making a bad tackle. That's part of his game. That's not called diving. It's up to the defender to defend well and not make rash tackles and not give away penalties. A lot of players do it in the league. Eden Hazard does it. Salah does it. We conceded a penalty to Liverpool. Salah did a similar thing. Very quick feet. Sacco made a rash challenge. It's a penalty. People would say, "Yeah, oh, Salah dived or whatever." He didn't dive. He, with his tricky feet, he baited Sacco into making a rash challenge and got a penalty. That's not diving. Diving is where there's no contact on you and you simulate there being contact to trick the referee into giving a penalty. If you have quick enough and tricky enough feet that you make the defender foul you in the box, that is not a dive. This is what I don't get about people who think that. It infuriates me because diving is a form of cheating, and this isn't cheating. This is a way of playing the game, and you can turn around and say to me, "I don't like that aspect of the game." Okay, fair enough, but it's not cheating, is it? What cheating is handballing before a goal, and then scoring that goal, which is what happened with Lacazette for the Aubameyang goal. That is cheating. You know, that I didn't see many Arsenal fans calling out Lacazette for cheating there, but hey, that's the way it goes, I guess. Yeah, I think it's a disgrace. Like, I mean, there does seem to be this. I don't know. I see a lot of bias towards Zaha. I know I'm a Crystal Palace fan, so maybe I think that, but I see it from like ex-pros, co-commentators sitting up there in their boxes and talking about him and stuff like that, and it's like, you know, players like Alan Smith turning around and saying things like, "Oh, yeah, you know, Zaha likes to buy a penalty and stuff like that," and you're thinking to myself, you never fucking did that once in your life, Alan Smith. You never tricked a defender into fouling you in the box or did anything like that, then took that penalty and scored it. Like, that was never part of his game, was it? No. Okay. He was a completely honest player. Like, I feel like the only person who's probably the only striker allowed to commentate on Zaha is Gary Lineker, who's never booked in his career. You know, they're just, as I said though, I think people have to understand the big difference. Like, if Messi is dribbling with the ball and he's got incredibly quick feet, he twists, he turns, he moves the ball, the defender lunges in, you know, touches Messi, Messi goes down, and people are like, "That was great play from Messi, brilliant, look at those feet, so quick, you know, he knew exactly what he was doing, you know, he tricked the defender." Zaha does it, everyone goes, it's a dive. It's a dive. I'm like, what? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, the double standards. And it probably is a small team, big team thing. You know, it is like, oh, Crystal Palace is a small team, therefore, you know, their players have to cheat. Well, we weren't the ones cheating, were we? Anyway, that's my rant over on that one. But a good result for Palace, though. I'm very pleased. You know, we went behind both times and we fought back to a draw. We got a tough run coming up. You know, we got Chelsea. I don't expect us to get anything out of that game. We got Spurs, which we could get something out of. Spurs are a bit iffy. We got Man United, which again we could get something out of because they're a bit iffy. Then we got Burnley, Brighton, West Ham, Leicester. So we got a tough run, but then we got games that we can get something out of. So if we can come out of the next 3 games, I think, with at least a couple of points, I'd probably be fairly satisfied with that. It's going to be tough though, absolutely. Man United, Everton, good win for Man United. Went 2-0 up. Everton really pushed. They could have scored late on, and you know, made that 2-2. That's a win that Man United needed. Pogba is a fucking idiot. Why is that penalty run up? Seriously. I mean, did he not learn anything from Simone's Zaza with Italy, where if you're going to do a run-up like that, you have got to make sure you score every single time, because if you don't, you look like a prize idiot. Obviously, he scored the rebound, but it was still a missed penalty. Martial, I hope he gets a bit of a run. He's clearly a quality player. Clearly, Man United should not have signed Alexis Sanchez. It seems like a really dumb thing that they did now. A very costly dumb thing, but that's what Man United have been doing recently. Man City must just be laughing because they're going, you signed Sanchez just so we don't get him, but then we just sign Mahrez the next season. Yeah, at the end of the season anyway. Like, what are you going to do? And as it turns out, Sanchez is... I don't know what his problem is at Man United. Is it just the way they play, the players he plays with? It just doesn't work for him. I guess maybe that's what it is. Everton, 9th. They had a really good run, but that'll be a loss. That'll probably hurt them a little bit there. They could have done better, but Brighton next. And it's winnable for them. Winnable for Brighton as well, so it should be a good game. Man City beat Spurs. I said before about Pochettino before the game, he was saying that it's frustrating for him and he feels the worst he has in his 4 years at the club, despite being the best start of the club for 4 years, because he doesn't feel like the club is focused on winning games, it's focused on other things, probably talking about the stadium and lack of funds, kind of. So there has been rumours that he might be going to a Real Madrid job. As I said, I don't see that happening personally. You never know. Man City won this 1-0. Spurs didn't really seem to be able to get at them that much. I didn't actually see this game, but listened to a bit on the radio. But I didn't actually see how the pitch was, because I know the day before, the Sunday, they played an NFL game at Wembley. Honestly, Spurs have just really screwed their season up with this whole stadium thing, haven't they? They've screwed up. They're not going to be playing this year in their new stadium. That is pretty bad. Pretty bad. And apparently it's 150 million over budget, so that's where Pochettino's transfer budget went, it appears. As a Man City, great win for them, pushing up, top of the league, 24 plus 24 goal difference, only conceded 3 goals. It looks pretty ominous for them. Liverpool-Arsenal will be a fantastic game, won't it? It really will be. I fancy Liverpool for that with Arsenal's defence, but you never know. If Arsenal's attack is on form that day, you never know. But I can't see anything other than Man City win there. I can't see anything other than a Chelsea win there. So that will put pressure on Liverpool and Arsenal if they want to keep up. I still think it's a 3-horse race at the minute. It could go down to a 2-horse race. But I genuinely think like the fight for top 4 is going to be really fascinating this season, especially if Man United can get their arse in gear and get back up there. They're only 5 points off 4th, which is achieved. If they have a good run, they can get back towards that way. But there's not a lot in it with these teams, is there? So there's only 5 points there as well. I don't think Man United are going anywhere near challenging this season. I mean, if they win every game for the rest of the season, they still probably won't win the league. That's how good Man City and Liverpool are, but we'll see, I guess. Next week, Bournemouth, Man United. That's a tough one for Man United, right? Cardiff, Leicester, Everton, Brighton, Newcastle, Watford, West Ham, Burnley, Arsenal, Liverpool. Woof, 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 woof. Wolves, Spurs. Is that a Saturday night game? I've never seen a Saturday night game in my life. Seriously? Bizarre. Man City, Southampton, Chelsea, Crystal... Oh, God. Huddersfield, Fulham on Monday night. I actually might watch that game, funny enough, if I'm off that Monday. Because that seems like that could be a really fascinating game, don't you think? On there. But yeah, as for changes, I'm not going to make any just yet. I will obviously keep my Man City players in. I think Bernardo Silva will play that game. I think Aguero will. He's played most of the games. Although he does get subbed, but I will. Mendy as well. Has been really good recently with those 3 games he's sat out. But I think he's really, really good player, Mendy. last season Palace had that terrible run, and then we beat Chelsea at the start of the season. So I don't know if Hazard can play. I'll put him in, but I'll keep an eye on that one. And then Arsenal, Liverpool, I'll probably drop. If Hazard can play, I'll probably put him in. If I'm gonna, well, Ings is going. That's 100% for sure. We'll see. I'll have to think about it anyway. Until next time, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.